Welcome to our online seminar, Sprinklers in Design. Now this seminar has been produced to demonstrate you to the benefits of sprinklers and how you can trade off in other aspects of design to ensure your client achieves the optimum design. Now, what are the objectives of this course? Well, by the end of this presentation, you will have a clearer understanding of, first of all, myths about sprinklers. Then, how to get the most from sprinklers in your design using Approved Document B and BS line. I'm going to go through how you can extend your travel distances. Also, how you can reduce stair widths, corridors and exit widths. I'm going to talk about sprinklers and sustainability. And then, the background of sprinklers and the types available. That's what I'm going to go through. Those are the objectives of this seminar. Myths about firefighters. Generally, people say firefighters will arrive at the scene of a fire within 6 to 8 minutes of it starting. Not real. Reality, either you call us because you've woken up and evacuated, or a neighbour calls us because they can see flames coming from your house. In other words, by the time the fire brigade arrived, because they've been called late, the fire's generally got past that 6-minute stage. And that's why now we're going to talk about life safety and sprinkler systems. Now let's look at some myths about sprinklers, because these are the reasons why designers, architects and builders are not using the sprinklers. They're not specifying them. Why? Because they don't understand them, and it's generally because of the myths about sprinklers. Myths. People say to me, what if it goes off by accident? What happens if you're watching the television and all of a sudden a sprinkler goes off? It doesn't happen. Did you know that 1 in 20 million sprinklers will operate by accident? You have got more chance of winning the national lottery than you have a sprinkler going off. I did a seminar and one guy said to me, it had more than likely happened to me. Would it? Well, do the lottery next week, that'll pay for the damage. What happens if I burn the toast? Will the sprinklers go off? No! Smoke detectors have got a very, very sensitive detector. They've got an RTI of about 0.5. Fast response sprinklers are 50. In other words, sprinklers really are heat detectors. They're not smoke detectors. If you burn the toast, it won't go off. Generally, sprinklers go off when the fire gets to about 1 megawatt. What's a megawatt? Well, that's quite a substantial fire. They don't go off by accident. Another myth. I don't like the look of all the pipes in my house. I don't want all the sprinkler pipes. You don't see them. Residential sprinkler pipe works are all hidden. Can you see all the pipes in your house now? No. Well, it's the same with residential sprinklers. You don't see them. They've been to buildings where people have walked around and they said this building's full of sprinklers. They said, where? All the pipes are hidden. What about fire damage? What sprinklers cause damage? No, the fire causes more damage than the sprinklers. Buildings without sprinklers suffer, on average, about £1.1 million of damage, where buildings with sprinklers suffer less than £200,000. That's an 80% reduction in the damage caused by sprinklers. Again, water damage. What? They all go off together. People believe that they all go off together. Bruce Willis hasn't helped. In the movies, have you noticed, he gets his lighter and he goes round and sets them off. Have you noticed they all go off? It's a film. It's not real. It doesn't work. If he set one off, one will go off. He's got to set them all off. It'd look rubbish in the film if he had to do that, wouldn't it? If he had to go around, I've got loads of these to do, it's going to take hours. It's a myth. The James Bond film Casino Royale. The guy in the airport went to the sprinkler override. And he set off the sprinkler override. And he flooded the airport and everyone comes running out with all the sprinklers going off. What's a sprinkler override? There's no such thing as a sprinkler override. Sprinklers only go off the ones where the fire is. It's a myth. And that's one of the biggest problems. People think if you sprinkled your whole house, one goes off, they're all going off. If they sprinkler a whole office block, they're all going off. That's a myth. The only ones that go off are the ones that set off by the fire. It is a myth. Now another myth, sprinklers are very expensive. No, they're not. Generally, they cost the same as fitting a reasonably good carpet, at between £15 and £25 a square metre for residential buildings. So they're not actually massively expensive. And sprinklers have got a life expectancy of approximately 25 years. I mean, some are still working, they're 100 years old. The life expectancy of a carpet's 10 years. Yeah, that's more expensive. What happens if you're in a room full of electrics and the sprinklers go off? Will you be electrocuted? No. In the movies, there's a bath full of people, swimming pool full of people. They throw a toaster in and everyone goes zzz, zzz. Have you heard about these things called fuses? Have you heard about them? Well, if you're in a room full of electrics and the sprinklers went off, the fuses would trip. Yeah, the fuses would trip. What about chip pan fires? Can sprinklers deal with chip pan fires? Yes, they can. They can deal with chip pan fires. What they do is they put a special head in the kitchen and it comes out more of a fine mist. Now, it's not a mist system, but it comes out finer. And they did tests in Cleckheaton and they found that every single time the sprinklers put out the chip pan fire, I mean, it looked intensified it initially, but every single time sprinklers put out the chip pan fire by using special heads.